Good morning, everybody. Good to see you this morning.
Good morning.
And I hope everybody's doing well. We're going to get started pretty quick. Steve, you want to do the rundown?
Oh,
real quick, and then we'll get into the video so you guys can ask questions.
Well, I got to get my tablet up and running. So if you want to get that video started while I do it, because at the beginning of the video, there's not a lot going on anyway. So
Okay.
I'll to get my tablet up and running in the meantime, because right now it's not working. Let's see. Okay. Hang on. Crap. Okay. Let's see. We got my buddy Bernard. Good morning, John. Grandpa Rails. John Tanzillo. Mark Pruitt.
News. U.S. Cellular has the.
Oh yeah, sorry. I monetized.
I see that.
You can't. I don't think you can fast forward through that either.
No, you can skip it though. You can skip it.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see where Almar, Gerald Stewart, Stephen Wigwag, Rob T Man, Dave DS Multimedia. Good seeing you this morning. Where are we? Grandpa Rails, JD. Good morning, Allison. Good morning. I know I'm missing people because I'm going through this thing really fast. Thomas Moore. I know there's more, but let's get going on the video because we don't have much time. There's no sound.
Yeah, I muted it when the commercial came up and you were talking. So
now what we got? Why is it so jerky?
Because it's on a train.
Oh yeah. Okay. What we're doing here is leaving Richmond Yard. You immediately climb a 1% grade over the Southern Pacific tracks. So you're climbing out of the yard over a hump.
Is that milepost 45?
What's that?
Milepost 45? Is that what that was? 45? That yellow sign?
Richmond is 11.
Speed limit. Okay.
Speed limit sign.
And we're basically yard speed until we get out of here. Now we had a big train. This thing was a mile long, which was by normal standards, that is not a long train. But going out of Richmond, that was long. You know, and unusual to have that big of a train out of Richmond. We had 4 locomotives. The lead was an SD40-2. And let's see.
So Jason Train Freak says you can't go 45 until the last car clears that sign. Is that how it works?
And once the last car's out of the yard and you're clear, then you can take it up to track speed.
Wow.
And what we're going to do is we're going to go up over the SP and drop down grade. It's also 1% down over this hump into a siding called I'm drawing a blank on the name now.
Yeah,
how do you know when the last car clears?
Well, in the days of cabooses, the rear crew would tell you you're out on the main, and you can go. Now you base your the length of your train on geographic locations that you knew were
you transverse a mile or whatever the length of the train was.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but out of Richmond, they would you had a car clerk that would check all the manifests on the car numbers, and they would check to make sure you're good, and they would tell you that you're on the main. So
Yeah.
Was
Okay.
that the rubber duck?
That's the car clerk. And so that told us there that basically where the rear of the train was. Now, when we dropped down over the SP into Ream siding, the west switch of the siding, if you look at the switch stand that is on the left side, I have that switch stand right next to me outside my shop.
Cool.
There was a signal maintainer, J.R. Welsh, and I hooked up with him on Facebook, and he sent me a message. This was about 7 years ago, and he lives down, well, it's near where I lived in Vacaville. And he told me, hey, you know what? I'm going to be moving to Texas, and I got a switch stand that I don't want to move. If you want to come down and get it, you can have it. It's like, shoot. He said, yeah, we were changing out the signals and stuff on Ream, putting the crossover in, and I took the switch stand home. So if you want it, you can have it.
Cool.
But this was a bad area, Richmond, because you were a target, and
Well, you didn't want to derail there either.
no, but I got shot at once.
Really? By who?
Yeah, I had 2 bullet holes hit the.
Who shot at
Now,
you?
what's that?
Who shot at you?
I don't.
I mean, like, is this a bad area or?
It's very bad.
Okay.
Now I've got a trainee. His name is Steve Hammond, and we are still really, really good friends. But this was one of his first trips as a.
That looked like a 76 Malibu.
Yeah.
What year was this taken, Steve?
This was April 1st. Oh yeah, gotta love
so
my.
different back
Yeah.
in the day.
Remember.
That's crazy. I'm calling you from the back of the taxi.
Skip it, song.
BB phone?
Skip it.
Yep.
There's
They
a
got
skip
bigger.
thing there. You don't see
It's
it?
lit up though.
Yeah, you got.
You got to hover over it.
Stronger.
I am hovering over it. It's not. It's going to make you listen to the whole thing.
Then they became more than phones.
I'm sorry.
I mean, who would have thought the flip phone would make it?
It's all
So
Steve.
April 1st of what? What year?
This was April 1st, 1996.
96, you said?
There you go.
I know you can
That
skip.
is annoying.
Yeah. This was in April 1st, 1992.
Oh, 92. Okay.
Now, Steve Hammond is now #1 on the seniority roster, and he's going to be retiring this year.
Yeah.
So tell me I don't feel old.
Yeah.
But look at that old Peterbilt.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed too, watching this, parts of it, getting ready for this morning. I noticed there you pass a bunch of. I think it's in the second half of the video, but you pass a bunch of look like hopper cars. There were hopper cars or guns. I think they were hopper cars. Not one graffiti on any of them.
Nope. Yeah, you don't see it now.
You don't
Now-
see that anymore.
No.
That school bus.
Yeah. Okay, now.
What we call foreshadowing.
Okay, now this next crossing.
Look at them all, Steve. You can see school buses were in your future.
Yeah, go figure. Okay, now right here on
Look at them.
Okay, that's the one I've got right outside my door. Now
No,
this
that's
is
funny.
now see we're at the bottom of the sag coming out, and once we go through ream siding here, it goes back uphill again. A lot of undulating territory through here.
Now, are you on the main line or are you on the siding?
This is the main line.
Okay. Is that a pacer? That wasn't a pacer. I think that was a gremlin.
Yeah, it looked like a gremlin.
This is just great just to look at all the old automobiles that you don't see anymore.
Yeah.
Now,
See where it starts back uphill. Looks like about that road crossing there.
yeah, that's the bottom of the sag. And
Yeah.
then it goes up over another hill, makes a right-hand turn. Yeah.
Now, is sag a technical term or is it just something that was commonly used in this area?
Now that was normal. That would be a low spot in an undulating territory. Would be a sag.
And so sag is used throughout depending on just the geographical layout.
Yeah. Now
Okay.
see, now the
The
speed
hump
limit
would be the
through here-
top of the hill.
Yeah, and the speed limit through here is 35. But the next curve is you're going back uphill right here, and that curve you've got to be down to 35. So you're controlling your train slack to try to keep your rear end of your train from running in on you.
Is that hard to do?
No,
No. I enjoyed this video when I first watched it because you ran the way that I was taught to run with air.
well,
What does that mean?
I was taught with stretch braking,
Yeah, me too.
But then they told us we couldn't do that. We had to use all dynamics.
Yeah.
But I had such a long train here, I was stretch braking it.
How did
All
they
right.
know what you
So-
were doing?
How does Dave know what? I'm confused how you could discern that.
Because go ahead.
You hear the air blow, set in the air, the brakes, and you're still in power. You're pulling the train, and you're setting it up. You're stretching the train out, or keeping it stretched, either to slow down or control your slack through a sag.
Yes. See, right now I've got the brakes set, and I'm pulling the train over the top of this sag downhill. Now, see, we're starting downhill,
So you're dragging it, kind of.
dragging
Yeah.
it right.
And you're doing that instead of using dynamic brakes?
Right.
Yeah.
How would they be able to tell which one you're using?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they can now, Jerry, because they have little black boxes now that
Right.
tell you what throttle you're in, and if you're in dynamic, and if you're set in air, and all that stuff.
Now, see, I'm going downhill on the head end to the bottom. You can see the bottom of the sag way off in the distance. Now, my train is about balanced on the top of the knoll with the brake set, and it's just a minimum. It's not much. I've only got 6 to 8 pounds a minimum set on this thing. And right about pretty much now, I'm going to have him kick off the air.
So you're talking to him the whole time, telling him what you're doing. And
Okay, now you just heard that little squeak. He just kicked the air off. Now the brakes are releasing on the train, and I'm pulling out on the throttle. What happens is, as the brakes are releasing, the power's pulling that that train and keeping it stretched so you don't get any slack action.
Look at it like a chain. If you're pulling a car with a chain, and you want to keep the slack out of that chain so that you don't rip a bumper off or whatever.
Right.
Okay, now most of the train is.
What was that?
My phone.
Oh.
That was Steve's limiter.
Now, I had a trend that there's an overpass right coming up right here. This was actually, it was a few trips the same year of 91. I had a kid throw a cinder block off that overpass and went through my front window.
Whoa.
Blew out the front window. I had glass everywhere.
Sparky wants to know if you ran over a chicken.
Oh, I've run over everything.
I didn't see it, but
Yeah. Now this is game. Now we're all uphill. This is a 1% going uphill. And at the top, where this overpass is basically the top of the sag or top of the hill. And then we go back downhill into Pinole. And that used to be a passenger. Now off to the left, you can see. That was Barbara, our wonderful dispatcher.
I think you when you had that meet with that other train, was that on purpose? Did you set her up for a heart attack?
We were talking, well, Claude, we were talking about that before the show. That's kind of that's an interesting story, what happened there, and I'll try to explain it when.
All right.
Now we're coming downhill into Pinole. There's a lot. I'm talking with him because I'm coaching him through this because this is one of the first trips he'd ever run. Yeah. Okay, what dynamic? Okay, dynamic brake. You've got the traction motors on the locomotive that are electric motors. Well, what dynamic brakes does is it turns the traction motors into generators, and that generating force gives you a retarding effort, and you can increase the amperage, and the more amperage you increase, the more retarding force you get. So you're getting brakes. It's like a Jake brake on a truck. Now we're coming down. This is the bottom of the sag train, still coming downhill, and I've got to be down to 35 at this next curve.
What percentage do you have on the train brake?
A minimum. Because I've got a mile-long train, and anything more than a minimum, I'm going to start really slowing down. Once you get 10.
How much power you got on this train?
4 big locomotives, so I've got 36 to 1,200 horsepower, something like that.
You mean 12,000?
12,000. I mean, yeah.
So is the length of the train, I guess, obviously proportional to the ability to brake?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now this is the bottom of the sag. Now anything going uphill now is all 1%, all the way up until we get to the middle of the long tunnel. That's the top of our mountain, if you want to call it that. Now, what the meet at Christie with the 199 train. Okay, the next sighting that we're going to go by now is Ream, or not Ream, but Collier. We would have fit in Collier easily. The west switch of Collier is just up here around the curve, and if she'd have put us in there wouldn't have been a problem. We'd have fit, and it'd have been a good meet. 199 would have been delayed. Well, in Christie, and I'll try to explain this. It's complicated, but it goes back to the old steam engine days through that tunnel. It's almost a mile-long tunnel. And in the old days, they actually had a physical staff, a flag, that would be at one end of the tunnel. So the crew would grab the stick, and if the stick was there, take it through the tunnel, put it on the other side, and another train couldn't go the other way until they physically had that staff. Well, they still had the signaling set up. Now, see, we should have gone in here. This is Ream, or is Porch, or is, I'm drawing Collier siding. But at Christie, there's what's called a spotting section. And you have to stop. It's about 200 yards west of the east switch, if that makes sense. You had to stop there, because if you went any further, it would put a red signal in the face of any train going the other way. So by having to stop there, the end of our train was still hanging out on the main line. And the dispatchers there just couldn't get this through their head that the train won't fit there, because you have to clear that spotting section, which has your rear end hanging out on the main. So we were going to end up delaying this 199 by not going in here in Collier.
So what's the grade right here?
We're 1%, and the whole train right now is on the grade, so we're all uphill right now. Now at the east switch here, there's a coke plant that's to the right down the hill that process coke that used for making steel. They basically bake coal, and they've got the track that goes. I don't think you can see it in the video, but the track that goes down to the plant is an 8% grade.
Yeah.
And we could only the local the Richmond Oakley turn that would switch this would always have two GP35s, GP4, 2-axle power, and you could only take 7 loaded cars up that thing, even because it was. Now see how it goes down. Okay, this was a little runaround track right here that they would switch the plant, but at the end of this runaround track, you'll see a track that goes back downhill. And when you're spotting that going down with loads, you basically got a full set on whatever cars you're going down there, and all the engine brakes to keep that thing from running down off the end of the track, because they were all stub tracks. And you didn't want to run off the end of that.
That almost looks like the Cumberson Toltec when you're going back on the bus from Antonito to Chama, and you cross the grade where the train comes up and crosses the highway. Looks like that. That's how steep it is.
Yeah,
this looks like a roller coaster.
This was a really pretty time of the year to video. All the hills were green from all the rain.
What time of the month or what time of the year was it?
April 1st, 1992. April Fool's Day. This is one of the prettier areas that we get to go through. And not this signal, but the next signal that we go by is the approach signal for Christie that we would head in. Now, when you going uphill here like this, generally you use just gravity to slow you down.
Yeah, just reduce your throttle a little bit, and it'll slow you down.
We did grab our air a little bit going into it. We did come in a little bit faster than we probably should have. We were busy talking to Barbara.
It's probably good enough using your iPhone to do this.
An old VHS over-the-shoulder camcorder duct taped to the control console.
No, iPhone video would have been a lot nicer than this.
Oh yeah, yeah. When we stopping at the west switch of Christie, Steve asked me, he said, "Did you panic?" And it's like, no, I didn't panic, because you don't want to run by, the signal, because then it's going to throw, color in the face of the guy. And technically, you ran the signal and you're fired.
Right. Did you guys see that little sign down on the right side that had an S on it? That, at least on our railroad, that was 1 mile from the switch.
Exactly. Yep. And then
1 mile until the switch, or 1 mile after the switch?
1 mile to the switch.
Okay, now listen to the conversation with the dispatcher.
Okay, you're gonna sit there, aren't you?
Can't understand her.
That 199 is the big
One not gonna fit, neither are we. That on the train.
Yeah, I always think you'll have to translate.
Yeah. Now, see, he's getting the engines a little bit of independent brakes just to get that thing stopped. Now,
did you have to throw these by hand?
Yeah, these are spring switches.
I've never seen a spring switch with that tall stem like that.
Do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Why are you stopped on the main, though? I thought that was a no-no.
No, we're going in the siding. We had a track warrant that gave us authority to go to Christie, but clear the main track. So now Bobby Bell's the conductor. Super nice guy, man. I love Bobby. Still friends with him.
Oh, okay. The switch hasn't been thrown yet. Now that makes sense to me now.
Now they weren't that easy.
Obvious if I'd have looked.
Now he's going to line the switch, and he has to go over and look at it, make sure it's properly lined.
What's he looking for?
Make sure in the flange way that the points, everything's good to go.
That's back when you could get on and off moving equipment too.
Yeah. And if you notice, he's getting on the opposite side. Technically, you're supposed to go on the engineer side, give a signal, and then go. But we just went, we did it. We knew what to do.
That's seasoned railroading.
Yeah, back when it was fun.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, at the other end of this siding was a really popular place for rail fans to be taking pictures. There were always somebody with cameras taking pictures up there.
Bernard wanted to say, so were most of the derailments caused by using Harbor Freight tools?
Yeah, sure. I would say yeah.
And Anthony wants to know what was spilled between the rails.
God knows. Oh, you never know. Could be anything.
That looks like ballast there.
Oh, ballast, yeah. Santa Fe had a very unique thing. I don't know where they quarried that stuff from, but it was very unique to the Santa Fe.
Huh.
That looks like my ballasting technique right there, just dumping on everything.
Now, when we make a right, go through this siding, and we'll be talking about the spotting section that we have to see. I don't know if you.
That looks like a nice area. Where is that? Still California?
Yeah, Northern Bay Area.
That's pretty.
You're not going to fit there?
You said this is Northern California?
Hold on, I might have to change something. I don't know what.
Anthony says he doesn't feel so bad about us ballasting now. I'm not there with you, Anthony.
Now, right now, Barbara is panicking because the late rain.
As she talked over you, what'd you say?
You gotta train it.
She's panicking right now because she's going to end up delaying this 199 and get her ass in trouble.
So you're on the siding. The main is to your right.
Right.
But have you cleared the main yet?
No, our rear end's still hanging on the main. There's a spotting section pole that we've got to pull up to, and we got to stop. We can't go past that.
And the reason why goes back to the flag in the tunnel?
Yeah. It'll put a red in the face of the 199 coming the other way.
And the
So
dispatcher doesn't understand that?
Nope. She doesn't get it.
Very interesting. Now, are you trying to relay that information to her? Is she just not willing to listen, or?
Oh, now she's figuring it out now.
So Bernard, he's on the siding right now. He's not on the main.
Okay, Steve. So you stop here, and you're still out on the main.
Correct.
Still on the main. So when the train coming toward you gets to you, you then start going ahead and go forward.
Yeah.
Off the main.
Yeah.
That called a saw by?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Saw by.
Never heard of that. Is that a rail fan over there getting ready to capture this moment?
No, that's Bobby Bell. That's our conductor. He's walking up.
You did it. You secured a spot on Main Street.
He did it.
Now all that's left.
You did it, Steve.
Sorry,
Steve.
Sorry.
Now you've done it.
Okay. Got the 199 coming, but he's got to stop because the rear of our train's out on the main line.
So back in the day, they didn't make you wear PPP or nothing.
No.
How did anybody?
Oh, it was a good job.
That was fun. We had a good time.
Yeah.
See, now I'm pulling up. See, the train's already got colors, so he's slowing down. Now we're pulling up. We're past that spotting section. And we're going to try to creep up here and squeeze in this siding.
How much of you are still hanging out on the main?
Probably 2/10. Well, 10th. mile. I don't know exactly. Now this is I'm still friends with this guy. This is Bob Towns on this train. This is a hot train. Very, very hot.
All that war bonnets. Nice.
All UPS.
Pre-container days.
Yep.
Mhm.
You're like coming up to being the foul, right?
Yeah, we're gonna squeeze it all the way up to the clearing point.
What is there any physical indication of how tight you can squeeze in there, or is it just because you know?
Well, somebody looking, and there's a insulation on the rail that clears the signals.
Okay.
Basically,
So
like
you for sure can't get your wheel set past that gap.
right.
And that gap will also correspond with the clearance of the main.
Yeah, that relays to the signals that you're clear.
Okay.
Were
Is that
you
a pot
worried?
signal that I see?
That's a dwarf, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little door, little pot
Yeah.
signal.
Were you worried at any time?
No.
No.
No, this is just a part of the job.
The dispatcher was worried.
Now, how long is this UPS train?
What's that?
How long is the UPS train?
It was the same length we were, so it was a mile long too.
Ooh, that is cutting it close then.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Bernard says when the paint starts scraping off the other train, you're too close.
Pretty much.
Well, he looks like he's slowing down.
Well, yeah, he's coming up on the rear end of our train. If he does it,
Right.
he's gonna.
So he's going to see if he can clear.
Right now, see, he's down. He's going downhill.
Please be a dynamic brake.
Yeah, he's probably got air set too, I would think.
Yeah.
He might have been dragging these too. I don't know if he was stretch braking it or not.
Uh-huh.
Those old trailers are cool. Some of the Santa Fe ones, and
I've got some of those for my layout.
do you?
Yeah. Well, I've got some. They're not Santa Fe. They're Rio Grande, but same.
Look at that JB Hunt back there.
50s, the 50s style trailers, round fronts on them.
Yeah, they're cool.
Now these are all 5-pack containers.
Boy, it's tight. Looks like the rear car is right dead even with the box section. If you follow the circuit, you do that by about 5 or 6 feet.
So you're coming up to meet.
Yeah, we're starting to run out of rail. And you don't want this thing rolling back into the train either.
Right now, about 2 5-packer looks like. No way, we got to find a van.
Well, you're starting to pull.
Now we're pulling.
We got about a BoxCar will be up to the signal.
Wow, that was tight.
Yeah, it is. They either need to shorten the trains or lengthen the siding.
Yeah.
Now, did this actually slow down the hot train off of its normal schedule?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that goes all the way back to Chicago. Somebody was pissed.
Whose fault was it?
Who?
The dispatcher.
Dispatcher.
Why is the reason?
Because you don't delay that train no matter what.
Right, but what option would have prevented the delay of the train?
Put us in at Collier, the siding before this,
A bigger siding.
without this problem.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem now. Even they got these monster trains and there's sidings that don't fit in.
Now, how much time elapsed there?
Oh, probably 6 or 8 minutes, less than 10, probably. Okay, now we're leaving on a yellow.
Well, now hold on. So you
We
didn't
can't
move.
hold on. Train's got to go.
Why did that train have to come to a complete stop? Was there a signal preventing it from moving forward, or?
Well, we weren't clear of the main.
Right,
So
but I don't see that you moved anywhere. So how did you unfoul the main?
No,
He moved up. He moved up.
Yeah, we were clear. We cleared the signal.
I guess I didn't see that in the transition from one scene to the next. I didn't think it looked like you moved.
But didn't they also have to stop and line that other switch?
Yeah, the conductor had to line that spring switch back.
Right.
I'm still a little confused because if you were
What are you
still
confused
0.2 of a mile out on the main.
No, we were in the clear.
No, he pulled up.
Yeah, we were all
okay.
Just fit in the clear.
You just barely fit in there.
Hey, Claude, at the end of this in the description, you should put a link to this video. And then people can watch it if they want.
Well, yeah, we may do that. I think we're going to do the second half of it next week.
right. Now, when we left this end of the siding, we did not have a clear signal. We were leaving on a yellow.
So why did you leave?
We had authority to leave.
Oh, okay.
Track warrant. And so we have a track warrant now that allowed us to proceed from Christie to Port Chicago. Now, what we have, by leaving on a yellow, the next signal could be a red. So we can't just fly out of here. We have to assume the next signal is a red. But it may not be. And given this situation with the signals in this tunnel, 99.9% chance it was going to be clear. But, we came another yellow, which was kind of.
Yeah, you're going to have to wait, Sparky.
Yeah, Sparky, you have to wait for the rest of it. I'll put the
Steve was pulling out of that siding. Were you restricted to 10 or 12 mile an hour?
No, those were 15 mile an hour.
15. Okay.
Now this tunnel, this is tunnel number 3. It's about the same length of our train. There was a long process when they were getting this ready for the double stacks. They couldn't fit double stacks through it, so they had to retrofit this tunnel. That's why it's got a fun shape to it.
Yeah, I noticed that there was some notches cut out.
Yeah, this is all
some of those tunnels.
Yeah, this was all notched out for the double stacks.
Yeah, that's pretty close fit.
Oh yeah, if you look at the top of the tunnel wall, you can see where they ground it out.
Yeah.
And then they all put shotcrete in it, and there's some sections they got steel I-beams across it. Now you can see the other end of the tunnel, but the top of the grade is right in the middle of the tunnel, and then you start downhill. And then it's 1% downhill. And the siding on the other side of this tunnel is Glen Fraser, another popular spot for rail fans. Or foamers, if you want to call it.
How'd they get back there? Walk?
No, it's road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's public access.
Have you ever been back?
What do you mean?
Have you been back, like in 10 years, 5 years ago? Never been back?
Yeah, not recently though.
Yeah. Any desire to go back and see what changed?
No. No, I don't want to go back to California.
Maybe like your favorite donut place is still there.
No, my burger places, Giant Burgers. Now, when we come out of the end of this tunnel, it's the west switch of Glen Fraser. It's also spring switches, but we have to assume it's going to be a red, but it's a yellow. And he's got the train stretched right now. He's going to power brake this thing because you gotta creep around and have control of your train to make sure if it is a red, you're able to stop. And there's always water dripping out of this tunnel, even in the summertime. Are we there yet? No.
Over the next hill and around the next curve.
Yeah. I didn't catch who that was, but welcome to the show.
Don't make us turn this train around.
Yeah.
Or stop it.
Oh, yes, there was, Sparky. Yeah, you didn't want to stop in the tunnel, man. You get asphyxiated.
Well,
Is that water dripping
Did
down?
you have the T2s?
Is that my
or
imagination?
No, it's water.
Were these the tunnel configuration engines
What do you mean?
with the air intakes down lower?
No, Santa Fe didn't have tunnel motors.
I think that's just kind of unique to the Rio Grande, wasn't it?
And the SP.
The SP had them as well.
Yeah, now that's a slide fence on the right side there.
That little thing is a slide fence, huh?
Yeah, there's several of them going down the hill here because it was the area was very unstable. Let's put it that way.
Okay, a fence to stop a slide. The fence.
Yeah.
Well, what it did, if you had
that out,
down, it would trigger the slide fence and throw the signals red.
Gotcha.
That's a cool little hut there.
Yeah, that's where they had the staff for the flags to go back.
There's your curved turnout.
I was going to say that's a nice curved turnout there. Well put together.
Was that hand laid?
Yeah,
I think it was.
Yeah.
Nice.
Probably so. Yeah.
That's a cool tower.
Yeah, that stuff's all gone now.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. See, this is a lot more fun when you can explain what's going on.
That's what I figured this would be a good way to do it.
Yeah, because just watching it and not being an actual trained person.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it I don't understand. Like that stop on the siding, wouldn't have understood why everybody was stopped.
Yeah. Now see
I'm not sure that I still understand.
Now the rear end of the train is still on the over the sag. So where the head end of the train is going downhill, the rear end of the train is still coming uphill. So
You tell him, Barbara.
now she's talking to another train. Now we've got a set on this train. We're dragging it downhill now. And the rear end of the train is just about cresting the top of the summit. And right around this curve is the next signal that we have to think is a red. So we have to be prepared to stop at this thing. So the train's got a good set on it, and we're pulling it. So if it is red, you can shut the power off and give a good set on the train, and it's going to stop. It's going to set right down and stop.
So what's the distance between that signal, like seeing that signal and not passing that signal?
Not very far, not very long.
And you could stop your train.
Now, see, he just told me it's clear. So listen to how the train handling's going here.
Now the air's going to be released. Your speed's going to start picking up. You can gently punch it.
Okay, so now, I don't know if you can hear that, but what I'm telling him is that we've got to, we're basically got to control the speed of our train coming down this grade, because we're 1% all the way down to Maltby, the next siding. So what I've got going on here is a train set, and we're pulling. So what I'm having him do is kick the air off of the train, so they're releasing, and we're in power, but we don't want to, get a lot of slack action here. So what I'm having him do is kick the brakes off, slowly shut the throttle down. So we're drifting down grade. You let the slack in the train start to settle and equalize, so you don't get the rear end to run in on you. Now, coming down the hill, we're restricted to 35 miles an hour. And you're basically watching your speedometer and controlling your train based on that. So right now, I've got him I think he's in idle right now. So the train's floating and drifting and picking up speed. Now, if you didn't do anything, you're going to get a runaway. So once you get that train kind of floating and settled, then you start the dynamics very, very, very gently. So you put it in what's called setup, and that gives a little tiny bit of retarding force to the traction motors.
So all this process that you're going through, can you feel this happening?
Yes, in the seat of your pants.
Yep. Okay, so that's how you operate, really.
Pretty much, yeah. And Dave can contest to that. You run by the seat of your pants. You feel the train.
Right. Well, for me, 99% of running a smooth train was knowing the territory.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. But
and what kind of where your loads and empties are.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times there were times you had loads on the rear end. They're just going to kick you in the eye. What you did.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so now we're increasing the dynamics and watching the speedometer, and we've got four locomotives, and the dynamics were really good on this. So there were no issues going down the hill at all. See, right now we're pretty much we're not in full dynamic, but we got the dynamics are working really good now. That's another slide fence right there to the right.
You got a good engineer. Well, you have to wait for that.
Yeah, Steve and I, we're still good friends, man. Love that guy.
That's cool. Where does he live?
Modesto.
Okay. When's the last time you seen him?
Oh gosh, last time probably 6 or 7 years ago. That's another slide fence. The next tunnel is tunnel number 2. It's a short little tunnel, and you come out on the other side. You come out on it's near Trestle. It's really cool trestle, but you can't see it. But it's named after John Muir, and his original house is to the left of this bridge. You can see it from the bridge. You can't see it in the video.
35 till you get around the curve there. 45. We got milepost 1171 right here. 1170 mile from here.
Hey, Claude.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at the time. We're at 54 minutes. We may have to do this in 3 steps.
Oh, I knew that because the video's over 2 hours.
We're not going to do it in 2. This is gonna have to be a 3-parter. I thought further down the road during the show.
Are there
Now, right, we go around this curve here. It's the last tunnel that we have. This is tunnel number 1. And you can see the welded rail that they were going to be replacing. Now that's it, and we got 45. As soon as the rear end of the train is by that sign, then we can increase the speed to 45, but not till the rear end of the train gets by it.
You can hear the hum of the traction motors in that tunnel in dynamic.
I thought he was scraping the sides of the tunnel.
We've done that with wide loads.
Uh-huh.
Sparky, this is Steve's video. I can put a link in the description, and you guys can watch it whenever. We're going to show most of the second part of this next week. So if you want to wait till then, or you can watch it beforehand, but you won't get the commentary in between.
Well, you can watch it, and then when we do the show, the commentary will make more sense.
Anthony wants to know how you know when the rear end reaches the speed sign.
Part of the territory, you know, the biggest part of train handling is knowing your territory.
Yeah. Yeah, you get a feel for all that stuff, you know, in time, and you can tell I've gone about a mile, even though you know, you might be between mileposts. You just get a feel for it.
And you do this every day, so it's like driving the freeway. You just know everything, where it is and how far, because it never changes.
Yeah, Sparky was saying the scenery changes so fast. Tunnel, mountain, green, bridges, roads, city, country.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing, Sparky. You'd have to have a really big basement to put this layout in.
Oh, yeah.
But it reminds me, a lot of these scenes remind me of watching, you know, the cab ride videos people put on from their layout.
Yeah.
Honestly, this video is priced.
What is it?
The documentation of this section that anybody's ever done. Now we're going up to 45 here. Used to be a siding right here called Vine Hill. It's long since been taken out. I think they took it out in the early 70s. The east switch of this siding would have been right up here. So that would have been another curved turnout for you, Dennis.
Do what?
Right here, there used to be a siding right here, and the switch right here, and that would have been another good turnout for you. Now you can't really, you can barely see Mount Diablo. It's right to the right, upper right corner of the screen. That's Mount Diablo. Well, hey Claude, we might get a couple.
Hang on, Steve.
What that?
Okay, say that again.
I said we're at 59 minutes. We could probably go a few minutes over and get to the halfway point, because it's not that much further.
Yeah, we'd just be about three or 4 minutes, something like that, over.
Yeah.
If you guys want to hang around, we'll get to the halfway, and then we'll do the second half next week.
Yeah, when we get down to the bottom here and we go around through this next siding, the video will break because that's when my battery ran out on my camcorder, and that would be a good place to stop. That's just a couple more minutes.
Sparky wants to know if you look for the dynamic brakes on the bus when you're driving.
Oh yeah, I love those. Now, right here around this curve on the left, when you go over this little private road crossing, that's the west switch of the siding is the bottom of the hill. That's where we flatten out.
How fast are we going now?
We're doing 45.
What's the fastest this trip takes you?
Well, we were a 70-mile-an-hour train, and at some point we actually got up to 70. But a lot of slowing down through yard limits and following the UP steel train at Pittsburgh delayed us. Now, this is Maltby. This is a big refinery. It smells like crap, too.
Yeah.
Dave, did you run this territory too?
No, I'm in Wyoming, so.
Okay.
I run dark territory, no signals.
Yeah. Now, see,
all track warrant.
Now, Maltby is the next sighting after this one is Port Chicago. That's a controlled crossover between that. This is where Amtrak comes off the SP to the Santa Fe, and it's all dispatcher controlled.
Right. Now, is this all SP, Steve?
No, this is Santa Fe.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yes.
coming out of the yard, I thought it was SP.
Well, we went over the SP.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, now we're coming up to the point where the video is going to break, and that's But yeah, what we're doing is normally if we were going to keep going, we would be notching out and taking it up to track speed. But we were going to beat Amtrak at Port Chicago, so we only had a track warrant to Port Chicago, up to the clearance point of the main line to hold the main line at Port Chicago at the control signal. And we'll pick that up next week. There we go.
How long was this trip?
What's that?
How long was this trip? 12 hours?
No, I think this one was eight or 9.
So was this a road train or a local?
Oh, this is road freight. This was a 951 train.
And where did you terminate again?
Fresno. But the numbers 9 is Richmond, 1 is Chicago. So this train is Richmond to Chicago, but the 5 in the middle, that was the whatever kind of train was. Now 5 generally, I think it was someplace in Texas, so. But yeah, it was, the kind of train it was. But yeah, that's
mixed freight. Mixed freight.
Mixed. No, we were all container or all piggyback.
Piggyback.
Well, okay.
Very cool.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
I really liked that. That was good.
Commentary along with it, that made it much better. It was kind of boring just sitting watching it, not knowing what was going on. Before. I will put that link in the description if you guys want to watch it without Steve's commentary.
It was cool to see it, but commentary really helped.
I know Sparky wants to see it, so I will do that. I'll stick it in the description of the show.
It'll make more sense. If you watch the next part, you can kind of see what we'll talk about next week.
Yep. So anyway, we're already over our time. So
thanks, everybody. But, see you next week.
Good to see everybody. Hope you all have a good week. And thanks, Dave, for coming back on. And Jerry,
glad to do it.
Dennis and Steve, thanks for the commentary. And
I
we'll
love
see you guys next week.
Okay, later,
All right.
guys.
Thanks. Have a good one.